Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio, the Wacko Network, and Pundit Press Radio. This is conservative talk for those who want to increase their conservative IQ. Well, good morning, and welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio. We appreciate you being here. It is a beautiful Thursday morning here in Central Florida. Sun's out. It's been a little cloudy, overcast, but the sun's out, and it's just gorgeous out. It's just gorgeous out, and not that I don't love doing this. Can't wait to get finished here in the next 58 minutes and go outside a little bit, just walk around. Going to go outside and walk around. You know, that's what you ought to do. Unless you're up north somewhere where it's, where there's still 75 feet of snow on the ground, so you just can't get outside and walk around. If you live in the South, and especially if you live in Florida, today is a day before you get your day started or in the middle of your day. Just go outside and walk around a little bit. Go outside and walk around. That's what I'm going to do. All right. We're gonna. I think we have an interesting topic today that I want to really want to get into at some depth. I also want to talk about Bo Bergdahl and how that's working out. We talked about that for a little bit. We had our friend Kevin Batts on, and we talked about the Bo Bergdahl situation. It looks like the Army is going to charge Bo Bergdahl with desertion. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about the politics of petty, and we talked about that before. But it seems like we got to talk about that again, and that's fine. If we have to talk about it again, we have to talk about it again. That's just how it is. Because I think it's important. I think it's important that we get, as conservatives, that we get that lesson. And if we don't get that lesson good, then it's going to be very, very difficult in the coming months. It's going to be very, very difficult in the coming months. So, again, I want to make sure that we get that lesson. All right, listen, before we take our first break, I want to talk to you about something. I want to talk to you about one of our partners, the Black Conservatives Fund. I got an email from the board of directors just a little bit ago. And here's the deal: the Black Conservatives Fund need to raise $23,800, $24,000 to implement their phase one of the Louisiana plans in the 6 key battleground states. Now, those states are, of course, let me get down here so I don't leave any out. Virginia, Colorado, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Okay, Virginia, Colorado, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Now, the Louisiana plan, if you weren't paying attention, is a plan that the Black Conservatives Fund used to go in and win the Senate seat for the Republicans and unthrone their current their Democrat incumbent. It was an absolutely amazing plan because it wasn't outreach. A lot of you are hooked on that whole outreach nonsense, and I've debunked outreach here on this show numerous times. The Black Conservatives Fund went into Louisiana and infuse themselves in the community. Here's what they did. As explained before, we know from firsthand experience that there's a small but significant number of black voters who were furious at Barack Obama. They were. However, the old-fashioned way of appealing to those good people through TV and radio ads simply doesn't work. That sort of outreach that spends a lot of money, that Carl Rovian outreach where you spend a lot of money on ads and you spend a lot of money on media buys, doesn't work. The only way to win these disaffected black voters was to set up offices in their neighborhoods and send black conservative volunteers to talk with them one-on-one. Infusion. We set up in your neighborhood. We didn't set up downtown. I'm just going to be real racial for a minute. We didn't set up downtown and send pimply-faced little white kids to your door to knock on the door to tell you some nonsense about, well, Martin Luther King was a Republican. Let's go, brother. Didn't do that. Sent real live adults, black conservatives, to people's door and sat there at their kitchen table and talked to them one-on-one. It made a difference. And if you want to see that difference made across the United States right now, go to blackconservativesfund.com and click the donate button. I did this morning. All right, we'll be back with more of the Will Lawson Show right after these messages. Welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio, the Wacko Network, and Pundit Press Radio. This is conservative talk for those who want to increase their conservative IQ.
What will determine the makeup of the Senate as we head into 2016? The balance of power may lie in Louisiana Mary Landrieu's race. In this battle at the ballot box, liberal Democrats are planning to use black Americans once again. But this time, black conservatives may be able to stop them. The Democrats lie and create chaos to keep power for themselves. The Black Conservatives Fund is going in on the ground for a historic black voter engagement effort. Make a difference with your donation to the Black Conservative Fund. Paid for by the Black Conservatives Fund, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
If you want to be an adoptive parent, it doesn't matter if you're a little different.
I'm a foxtrot. Oh, really?
What you look like.
Your ears aren't pointy. I slept on them funny.
Or what you sound like. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you. Call 888-200-4005 or visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You have discriminating taste and an eye for the impressive. You need to surround yourself with not only beauty, but quality. That is why you are looking for a new construction home for you and your family. Let the experts at New Homes of Tampa Bay guide you to and through your new home purchase process. With access to hundreds of model homes throughout the Tampa Bay area, New Homes of Tampa Bay is sure to find that perfect match of budget and beauty you are looking for. New Homes of Tampa Bay can save you thousands of dollars while costing you nothing. Call us today before you start your new home search. New Homes of Tampa Bay at 813-770-9452 and at www.newhomestpa.com. Well, good morning. Are you interested in upping your conservative IQ? To be more solid in your conservative thought? To be able to debate at a higher level? To be able to understand at a higher level what conservatism in America is really all about? Well, I can help you now. Alongside us as partners is a new partner, the RedRiverChronicle.com website. The RedRiverChronicle.com website, whose founder is Kevin Batts, understands what conservatism is all about and understands it in the way they write their articles, their commentary, all the educational material that is on the website, put together in a great way, very easy to navigate. So if you want to up your IQ, go to redriverchronicle.com. Welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio, the Wacko Network, and Pundit Press Radio. This is conservative talk for those who want to increase their conservative IQ. Well, welcome back to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio. We appreciate you being here. It is, again, another lovely day. And today we have to talk about this because it continues. It seems like some of us refuse to learn the lesson. Here's what I wrote. Some of you cannot wait to take any opportunity to play petty politics. I get it. You don't like Michelle Obama. She isn't Laura Bush. Whatever the hell you have in mind for First Lady of the United States. But let me help you with something. Every time you post something about Mrs. Obama online, you become the very person the left says you are. You become the bigot. You become the racist. You become the person that is angry. You become someone that is sophomoric and childish for sure. What you become, in my opinion, is a roadblock for people like me to interface in the urban community. As a black Republican, much less a black conservative, I'm sure that you don't think your jokes matter, but everything anymore is interrelated and interdependent. What we say online matters. The slightest post adds to the narrative. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm sure it's a thing. Even every post, every little thing adds to the narrative. It adds to people's opinion. And you know what? And what we don't know, the best thing and the worst thing about the internet, the best thing and the worst thing is that we don't know who reads. We don't know who sees. Only know who comments, and we barely know that because people operate under pseudonyms all the time. But we don't have any idea who reads, who sees. That's how whatever we post, that's why I tell people, as Republicans and conservatives get more and more comfortable with social media, that we have to be, just like we tell our kids, we have to be very, very careful because everything that we post adds to the narrative, either to the good or to the bad. And the narrative is for people who aren't going to look any further than where they already are. Now, and let's get to the specifics of what sparked me this time. There's a picture of Michelle Obama standing in a kitchen. Apparently, it is she answered a question or answered the question on Jeopardy, and she had her hair pulled. She had her hair pulled back, and the idiots on The View. We'll be right back.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plato and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey, the dreaded splash fight. It's Dad o'clock, and it's the best time of the day because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's another hit from the Breathe Easies.
Come on and clean up the mold. Clean up the mold. Mold can trigger asthma in kids young and old. Come on and clean up the mold. Clean up the mold in your house.
This song may be fun, but childhood asthma is not. Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as cleaning up the mold and mildew in your house. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org, brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
Getting your child home safely.
Tap your views together 3 times.
Is just a click away.
There's no place like home.
But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travel.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's the Breathe Easies with another one of your favorite hits.
Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke around the kids in the house. Don't smoke in the car. Don't smoke in the house. Don't break my heart with your secondhand smoke in the kids. It can trigger the asthma.
Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as making your home and car smoke-free zones. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org or just keep listening.
Vacuum up the floor. Vacuum up the floor. Yeah. Vacuum up the floor. The asthma trigger is the more. You gotta vacuum up the furniture and vacuum in the cracks because the dander and the dust can give kids asthma attacks.
Simple steps can help your kids breathe easier. Vacuum up the floor to keep your house free of dust, dander, and dust mites. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org, brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio, the Wacko Network, and Pundit Press Radio. This is conservative talk for those who want to increase their conservative IQ. All right, we're back. We had a little, it wasn't an emergency, it was just a little thing that we had to take care of, and we took care of it. No big deal. Everything here in the studio is fine. It's awesome. But we're saying that we have to be real. I think we have to be really, really careful about what we post and how we post it, because everything is interrelated and interdependent. You don't think that the little post that you write matters, but everything is interrelated. Everything is interdependent. Everything, and everything because everything adds to the narrative. Everything adds to the narrative. Everything adds to the narrative. Whatever somebody reads is how they get their opinion. Now, I know that you probably shouldn't get your opinion by what somebody writes in a comment section on Facebook. I get it. So don't write me. Don't send me an email at wls860@gmail.com telling me that people shouldn't do that. Well, hell, I know that. I know that people shouldn't develop their opinions on anything that happens on Facebook or Twitter. I get that. But here's what you have to understand. They do. What you have to understand is that they do. They do indeed gain their opinion. They get their marching orders from, and they feed their narrative, their inner narrative, based on the things they see online, based on social media, based on Facebook and Twitter and not LinkedIn so much, but Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and the like. They do. So they look at conservatives by what I mean. Come on, we're talking about people in the urban community. They know conservatives not because they read books about them and they get to study them in school. No, they know conservatives only through social media. That's the only way they know. And when something is posted about Michelle Obama or Barack Obama or some black liberal, and the comments are petty and awful, like Michelle Obama's got an Adam's apple, that she's a transsexual, that she's ugly, and all these other things, it just makes you look childish and pathetic, and it makes conservatives look childish and pathetic because you come across, the first thing you say is, as a conservative, and then you act like an ass. Which I'll tell you what, it bothers me because it makes my life more difficult, especially my online life, because most of us now, I do an online radio show. I do a show on the internet, so I have an online life. I have to admit, I have an online persona and an online life, and those kind of comments make it tough. It makes it tough when people call here and say, well, the people conservatives, they say this and they say that and they say the other. I don't have any control over what people say. I only have control over what I say. And what I'm trying to do in this particular few minutes is get you, just like we ask our kids, get you to think for a minute before you comment or before you hop in. Somebody wrote me, and I'm gonna read what they said because they were very, very sweet. Let's see here. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna find it and read it right because they're very, very sweet. I won't mention their last name. First name is Deborah. Deborah writes, Willie, I agree. While I agree with that personal ugly remarks aren't nice and are what liberals do all the time, which we deplore. I think many are just frustrated beyond civility. The First Lady flaunts her arrogance all the time with her lavish trips, outlandish, extravagant wardrobe and wigs, but most of all, her sanctimonious, I can't even read that word, that we are too dumb to feed our own kids, right? So they poke fun at her. Most are probably not serious about their remarks. I tell you what, I pledge to you here today, March 26, 2015, that I will never be frustrated beyond civility. I will never be frustrated beyond civility. And if you listen to this show, if you're someone who's listened to this show, you know that we have been on a long time. I mean, since 2008 in internet radio is a forever. Is a forever for a daily show. And here's what I won't do. I will not get so frustrated, and I have been frustrated, that I will be that person, that I will become that person that I abhor. I will not become the person that I abhor. I will not become that person. Now, I understand. I taught high school, so I get it. That sometimes communication ranks over professionalism. It does. It's not because sometimes you just have to get their attention. You just have to get their damn attention. I get it. But these comments about Michelle Obama and about her children, that some of you have fun commenting that these aren't her children, that these are rented people, and this is and that she's not even a woman, that Michelle Obama is a man, that nonsense has got to stop. And I'll tell you from a strategic standpoint, it's got to stop because, frankly, all the left has to run on in 2015 and 16 is your unpleasantness and your hate. They've got no accomplishments. They've got only scandal. They've got only incompetence and scandal to run on. They've got nothing to run on. Why do you think they lost in 2014? It isn't just because Republicans came out or conservatives came out and voted for Democrats. That's not the only reason. The only reason is the other reason, which is at least 50% of the reason, is they've got nothing to run on. They were not able to generate any excitement in their camp, none, and they're hoping, praying somehow that they're able to rally the troops in 2015 and 16 to get some sort of turnout, even for president. All they have to run on is a narrative that says Republicans and conservatives are mean and hateful and terrible people, and you don't want them in charge. That's the only narrative that the left has to run on. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they've got no accomplishments. They've got no real accomplishments, and they know it. And they know it. They know that whatever supposed gains there are in the economy, what they know is that it's smoke and mirrors, and will fall apart. They know that the Affordable Care Act is being held up with chewing gum and baling wires and will fall apart, especially without state exchanges, without the state taking on that, without those 26 states taking on that expense, which they know now they don't have to. They know that the Affordable Care Act is crashing and burning around their feet. They know that. And let there be no doubt, they are scared spitless of someone, Cruz. I've said it on this show 1,000 times. The left is wonderful. Left is great because they always tell you without any doubt who they are most afraid of. Because that's the person they act out against in the ugliest way. It's Ted Cruz. I'm going to say it right now. I don't know if Ted Cruz can win the Republican nomination for president. I don't have any idea. My guess is no. My guess now, if I had to put down money, if I had to get my credit card out and go online to an offshore betting establishment, I would bet against it. But the left will tell you. They always tell you, and their attacks, their continuous attacks on Ted Cruz, show you that's who they're afraid of. Maybe we should pay attention. Maybe we should pay attention because that's the person they're most afraid of. You remember when John McCain, who the left loves? We found out later the left loves John McCain because he's reasonable. He's a good kind of Republican. He's reasonable. Well, he's a good kind of Republican because he talks like a Republican but votes like a Democrat. Right? So he's the reasonable one. And that's why they love him. But who did they go after in 2008 they didn't think he was so lovable and wonderful when he picked Sarah Palin as his running mate. Did they? No. They sent 1,000 billion lawyers up to Alaska to dig up whatever dirt they could on Sarah Palin. And they found out that Sarah Palin was a governor who was a much loved and effective governor of our 49th state. That's what they found. And they also found that Sarah Palin, her message and her way resonated with a lot of Americans. A lot of Americans in the quote flyover states. And that scared the crap out of them. So they had to be on a mission to destroy her. The left always tells you who they're afraid of. I appreciate them for it. Thank you, those on the left, for not being bright enough, for simply not being bright enough to not freak out when you're afraid. Thank you, because that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So they lose their mind. They get absolutely crazy, and they'll tell you who they're afraid of. Now I'll tell you what. And if you do not believe me, what you'll find out is that you're going to see you won't see hardly any hate on Jeb Bush from the left. They're not afraid of Jeb Bush. They're not. They sort of see Jeb Bush like they see John McCain. Now they aren't as friendly with Jeb Bush as they are with Susan Collins or Lisa Murkowski or someone like that. But they're not nearly as afraid of Jeb Bush as they are of someone like Ted Cruz. Now, will Jeb Bush win the Republican nomination for president? I don't know. But I tell you what, if I had to take my credit card out, and go to that same offshore betting site, I would probably bet for that. That would probably be. I think that he's a favorite. I think that he is at least a 2-to-1 shot. I think it's even money. I think Jeb Bush winning the Republican nomination for president right now is even money. Now, a lot will take place. I think that Ted Cruz is probably 7-to-1, and that line may go up or down, depending on the sort of organization that Ted Cruz is able to put together between now and Super Tuesday. I think it's 7-to-1. But I'll tell you, the left is scared spitless of Ted Cruz, because Ted Cruz has the same, what his message resonates in the very same way that Sarah Palin's message resonates with a lot of people in the flyover states, and they're afraid. They're afraid as hell if for some reason that message catches fire and people start really supporting it. Then no matter who they run, it doesn't matter. No matter who they run, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Elizabeth Warren or some of the other people that you've never freaking heard of, that it'll be too late. It'll be over before it starts. And they might be forced to run Hillary Clinton just because the other people no one's ever freaking heard of. Even Elizabeth Warren, no one's ever, when we start talking about national name recognition, of course she's a United States senator, but no one's ever freaking heard of her. Nobody knows who she is. All of us do, but nobody really knows who Elizabeth Warren is. Nobody knows. Everybody knows who Hillary Clinton is, and they're not really wanting to run her. And I'll tell you why. when we get back. Again, back to our point. It's time to stop practicing the politics of petty. You're hurting our chances with your sophomoric and childish remarks. Everything is interrelated and interdependent. Everything adds to the narrative. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio, the Wacko Network, and Pundit Press Radio. This is conservative talk for those who want to increase their conservative IQ. You have discriminating taste and an eye for the impressive. You need to surround yourself with not only beauty, but quality. That is why you are looking for a new construction home for you and your family. Let the experts at New Homes of Tampa Bay guide you to and through your new home purchase process. With access to hundreds of model homes throughout the Tampa Bay area, New Homes of Tampa Bay is sure to find that perfect match of budget and beauty you are looking for. New Homes of Tampa Bay can save you thousands of dollars while costing you nothing. Call us today before you start your new home search. New Homes of Tampa Bay at 813-770-9452 and at www.newhomestpa.com.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
This is the Willie Lawson Show, a product of Spaceport Productions on the Wacko Network. We'll be back right after these messages.
Behold, we are in the presence of champions, fantasy sports legends who have earned hundreds of thousands of dollars playing online. Meet Arlie Gonzalez. Average guy, superior sports knowledge. Picked a team in minutes and won enough to throw the party of a lifetime. In outer space. Former accountant Derek Bradley. DraftKings One Day Fantasy Baseball took him from a guy with holes in his underpants to a guy with bikini models in them.
How do we turn our love of fantasy sports into reality cash?
DraftKings.com. They have one-day games, so you're not locked in. It's like a new season every time you play. And best of all, you could win a shipload of money. Play for the largest one-day cash pools in all of fantasy sports. Go to DraftKings.com and enter the Baseball Chase for the Crown event, paying out over $5 million. Enter promo code BONUS and we'll double your deposit. Get to DraftKings.com now.
Welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio, the Wacko Network, and Pundit Press Radio. This is conservative talk for those who want to increase their conservative IQ. All right, we're back with more of the Will Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio. We appreciate it. Listen, we started off the show. I implored you, I need to continue to implore you to give to the Black Conservatives Fund. Go to blackconservativesfund.com and click on the donate button. It's going to cost about $24,000 to implement, which is, when you think about it, when you think about how much people at Karl Rove spent, this is a minuscule amount of money. It's going to cost about $24,000 or so for the Black Conservatives Fund to implement their Phase 1 plan, the very same plan that got rid of whatever her name is, Mary Landrieu in Louisiana, in 6 of the battleground states. And you always hear about them later: Virginia, Ohio, Florida. Let's make sure. I'm going to go back to the email and make sure that I don't screw that up. There it is: Virginia, Colorado, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Battleground states in 2015 and 16. And the process is that Black Conservatives Fund does this. They don't do it like everybody else. Everybody else wants to get commercials and do a media buy and that kind of stuff. But you know what? That's all old-fashioned outreach stuff. That's all Karl Rovian stuff that we found out that you can spend millions of dollars on and fail. Just because you have a commercial running in an area during an election doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work, especially when we start talking about interfacing in communities with people who are with minorities that are not happy with the Democrat Party, either where they live or on a national scale. So what we have to do is do exactly what the Black Conservative Fund does: go into those minority communities, go into the community and set up an office there, and send Black conservatives, adults, to folks' door to have one-on-one conversations with them in their living room, in their kitchens, down at the rib shack, down at the chicken shack, at the breakfast place. That's what we do. That's how we get it done. We get it done. That's infusion. That's not outreach. That's infusion. You actually put yourself into those communities. And that's how it works. The Black Conservatives Fund, you know what? A lot of people say that they are that's what they want to do, but I'll tell you what, this is the only group that's actually done it. Plus, write checks to candidates. This is the only group that's actually done it. And there's some great organizations, some great folks out there who had a similar idea about the same time and are out there busting their butt to get things done. I get it. And I'm not denigrating anybody, but I'll tell you what, Black Conservatives Fund are the only people who've already done it, who've already made a difference. So if you're looking for somebody because everybody's always looking in politics. Somebody's always looking for somebody who's already done it and has a track record and blah, 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 and all that stuff. Guess what? Black Conservatives Fund has a track record of success. Already done it. Did it. And was successful. Ran right into Louisiana when it was obvious it was going to be a runoff. Was there in a matter of days. I think they were in Louisiana, if not that Tuesday night, Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon, setting up, ready to go, to interface with black voters to dethrone Mary Landrieu, who had been in runoffs before and was known as a comeback queen. This time she was dethroned. Why? Because they weren't able to go in and lie and cause confusion in black neighborhoods that had supported her in the past. She was not able to do it because the interloper, Black Conservative Fund, had already been there and had set up camp and was able to diffuse the campaign of confusion that the left often throws into the minority communities. So we want to continue that. I'm spending some time talking about it. We want to continue that. We want to make sure that that very same plan works in the 6 battleground states I mentioned, Virginia, Florida, Colorado, North Carolina, Wisconsin. I missed one. Did I miss one? I missed one. Crap. I don't know why I go away from this email. Yeah, Virginia, Colorado, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, and Wisconsin. We want to be able to do the very same things in all 6 of those states. We have to start laying the groundwork. You can't have a ground game. You can't have a ground game until you have resources in place. You can't have a ground game until because political is always talking about, well, you know what, so and so had Barack Obama had a good ground game, but you can only have a good ground game if you have resources in place. That's the only way. You've got to be able to put those resources in place, and the Black Conservatives Fund need your help today. Don't put this off today. Now you may tell me, well, Willie, you know what? I'm kind of short today. It's near the end of the month, and blah 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 blah, and I haven't done this, and I haven't got to do this. Yeah, I know. Do it. Yeah, me too. I did it today. Now they're not going to be able to build a 10-story office building with my contribution today. That's for sure. But I know that I'll give you an example. I'll let you know. I'll let you behind the curtain. If 100 of us do what I did today, they'll be able to open up an office. At least one office in one of those states. They'll be able to pay rent and open up an office in one of those states if 100 people do what I did today. All right. I can't say that dude's name. Bo Bergdahl. Bo Bergdahl was a soldier that was missing for a number of years, and we found out that he had spent some time with the enemy, with the Taliban. And it was thought that he had been captured and was being held. The Obama administration, and I'll tell you what, I wish I knew what they were thinking, decided that they would point of rescuing Bo Bergdahl and bringing him home. And the point was that they were going to be heroes for the 2014 election. Well, some of the stories started leaking out that Bo Bergdahl was a sympathizer to the enemy. Some people were starting to say that Bo Bergdahl left his post to be with the Taliban. Some people have said that Bo Bergdahl had left his post to be with the Taliban. That blows a lot of us away. We're not sure. Frankly, none of us are sure. A lot of people listening to my show are not sure how people get there. How somebody who is in the United States military decides that they're going to switch sides and work with the Taliban. That's very difficult for any of us to really fathom. Even we don't get We don't get that. I know I don't get that. If you're somebody who understands that, in the next 9 minutes, give me a call at 646-200-3246. If you understand how an American soldier can decide, you know what, screw the United States, screw the Army, I want to be a member of the Taliban. I want to fight on the other. I want to fight on the other side. Now, I understand someone who's a conscientious objector who says, you know what, this isn't working. This fighting isn't working, and I'm not down with what my country is doing and how they're doing it. I get that, but not to the point where you decide that, you know what, we're going to fight on the other side. I'm so upset with my own country that I'm going to now fight against it. That I don't understand. I don't understand how you get there. As it turns out, Bo Bergdahl got there. Now, in the meantime, in this arrangement to get Bo Bergdahl back, the administration released 5 of the baddest guys in Gitmo. And people who had said that they would fight, they would go back to the battlefield and fight again to kill Americans. They had done it before. They would do it again. Release Bo Bergdahl. They would release Bo Bergdahl, and we would release these 5 bad guys from Gitmo. Transaction took place. It took place. Bo Bergdahl was released. These 5 of the baddest bad guys from Gitmo were released back into the battlefield to kill Americans. And now the Army is charging Bo Bergdahl with desertion. Here's a couple of problems with Bo Bergdahl's desertion. It wasn't like he was working at a 7-Eleven and just didn't come back. It wasn't like he went home on leave, came home on leave and didn't go back. He was at a post. He walked off his post, which led to American deaths because they did not have enough people, and that particular place that he was guarding was overrun. American soldiers were killed. American soldiers were killed in the process of them searching for him, attempting to rescue him. American soldiers lost their lives behind Bergdahl's bullcrap. And the President of the United States brings this guy home like he's a freaking hero. He's a douchebag. He's a douchebag that after being released for the first few weeks, dude wouldn't even speak English. Douchebag. Douchebaggery. And where was the American media? Silent. Because the truth quiets down the narrative that this president cares about the troops and he cares about, the whole American way, don't leave any soldiers behind, blah, blah, all that stuff that, frankly, I don't think Barack Obama gives a rat's ass about. Or hasn't before. But I am cynical enough to understand and believe that this had more to do with the 2014 elections than anything else. He was able to go get someone who had turned to the Muslim side, to the Taliban side, which I believe that he may agree with, while to most Americans looking like a great leader that went and rescued an American soldier, and in return gave up 5 guys that we don't care about anyway, in a prison that a lot of the president's followers wants closed down and these people sent back to wherever anyway. So they don't care about the baddest of the bad guys in Gitmo. So for the president, in his mind, in 2014, it was a win-win. Everybody wins. And if it all goes south, it goes south after the election. That's the truth. And it went south yesterday when the Army has decided to charge Bo Bergdahl with desertion. Now, during wartime, that means a declared war, a congressionally declared war, the penalty for desertion is up and including execution. There's no chance that Bo Bergdahl gets executed. There's no way that he stands in front of a firing squad. So get off Facebook. Stop calling for the dude's death. It's not going to happen. It's now on my list of stuff you can stop screaming about. It's not going to happen. However, life in prison is still on the table because there were extenuating circumstances that caused the death of American soldiers in his desertion. And even in non-war times like we're in now, the penalty can get up to as high as a lifetime of incarceration for Bo Bergdahl. Now, here's the deal: the president, a lot of us are waiting for the president to say something. He's not going to. First of all, he's not going to. And if he does say something, he's going to say, with the information that I had at the time, he won't. I'm not going to apologize for bringing an American soldier home to be with his family, out of the grips of the Taliban. That's of the Taliban. That's what he's going to say, and then you're just going to be pissed off. So let me go ahead and piss you off now, so you don't have to say anything stupid. That way you can learn to you can digest it right now. That's how it's going to play out. Yes, the administration's on the wrong side again, but for political reasons. All right, we got to get out of here. Thanks so much for coming to the Will Austin Show here on Blog Talk Radio. We appreciate you being here. Just like always, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. BlackConservativesFund.com. Do it now. Click the donate button. Do it now. Don't wait. Do not wait. And these kind of initiatives are based. They need support from the beginning, or they will fail to thrive. They need support from the beginning to thrive, and eventually they'll die. You can't wait until the baby's 2 years old and can eat solid food before you feed them. You got to feed them now. BlackConservativesFund.com. We'll be back tomorrow with more of the Will Austin Show. Till we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sake, take care of yourself. Peace. You have discriminating taste and an Welcome to the Willie Lawson Show here on Blog Talk Radio, the Wacko Network, and Pundit Press Radio. This is conservative talk for those who want to increase their conservative IQ.